¿Qué onda, vatos? Thank you for liking the video and thank you for subscribing to the channel. Let's go ahead and get on with the topic of today's video.
Yes, get on with it!
The maintenance plan at a dealership. So some dealers, they'll offer a manufacturer maintenance plan, and some dealers, they offer dealer maintenance plans. So what's the difference between each? All right, the manufacturer maintenance plan, you can take it to any dealership in the United States of America if you're buying it here in the US. If you're buying it in your own country, I'm pretty sure it works the same way. Manufacturer maintenance plan it's just that. You can take it to any dealership in your country. Here in the United States, you could redeem. They'll give you this little packet of certificates, a packet of maintenance plans, and they'll give you, depending on what you buy. Hopefully, you know what you're buying. They'll give you maybe up to a certain amount of miles. Most of them being up to 60,000 miles, intervals of 5,000. Just, like I said, know what you're buying. Some of them are offered that many, some of them go by time, some of them just go by miles, kind of like the one I mentioned, and some of them they just straight up tell you what, we're going to cover up to this many intervals. After that, you're going to be responsible for the maintenance. Now, usually the higher the miles, the more expensive it gets. So the early maintenance intervals, they're honestly quite cheap up until you get to a certain point, depending on the vehicle. It just ranges. Usually it's every other maintenance. That's the big one. But like I said, make sure you know what you're buying. So now that we've discussed the manufacturer maintenance plan, now let's go into the dealership maintenance plan. Sometimes they'll give you little extra perks. There's a few extra perks in there that they'll give you, mainly because they don't have to share the profit with the manufacturer. A dealership maintenance plan is just theirs. You won't be able to go to any other dealership. So if you decide to move to a different state and you still have a couple services left, then you would have to come back, or you would have to come back to your original dealership to kind of redeem those last couple of maintenance services that you still have. Sometimes I guess you could probably talk to a dealer and see if they're willing to honor such service plans, but I mean, it's honestly, I highly doubt that they'll honor another dealership's service certificates, or whatever the dealership, or whatever you buy, whatever they call them. Maintenance plan by the dealership, you have to take it back to that dealer no matter what. That's the only place they'll honor. It's like taking a dollar over to Mexico. You know what? That's probably a bad example, because in Mexico they'll accept U.S. currency. Just anywhere, you take a currency over to a different country, they won't accept it. So you would have to convert it to whatever currency you're at to kind of accept the same thing with the maintenance plan. It's a currency that you can only use at that dealership if it's a dealership maintenance plan. But let's go into a little bit more in detail, the fine details of the maintenance plan. Most of those, depending on the dealership. Manufacturers, 100% sure they just cover the basic recommended service intervals. Okay, so it's whatever your owner's manual, whatever you read in the owner's manual, that's what they're going to be covering for those for that manufacturer service plan. It's just that. You look into your owner's manual and you see what's recommended at those intervals, and that's what they're going to be covering. They don't really give you the good stuff, the additional services, the flushes, the coolant flushes, the brake flushes, the transmission flushes, all that stuff. You would have to pay that additional. That's not covered with those maintenance plans. Now, the dealership, like I said, they might have a couple special perks, so they might cover some of that stuff, or you might even get a discount on that additional, on those additional services. Most of the time, you do not. You have to pay at cost for those additional services, meaning you don't get a discount. So if their labor rate is $140 an hour, kind of like my dealer, then that's what you're going to be paying, $140 plus materials. So and that's where they kind of make their money back on those maintenance plans. They give you a special discount. You do save some money, but you only save the money if you pay for these service plans with cash. So if you really want to save some money, you have to pay for them in cash, because you calculate the months of your loan, and then you calculate the percentage that you're paying, and then you add that onto your $1,000 or $2,000 that you're paying. It adds up. So instead of saving money, now you're actually spending more money. But if you pay for them in cash, then you will be saving some money if you do decide to service your vehicle at a dealership. You are saving some money if you pay cash. Now that's what they're kind of banking on. They're hoping that you keep your business with the dealership, and whatever additional service that comes up with the vehicle, they're hoping that you actually stay with that dealership or with the manufacturer dealership, depending on the service plan. That's where they're kind of hoping that they make their money back if you do decide to pay cash. But fortunately for you, you actually have the choice of opting out of taking your vehicle to a different repair shop. Like I mentioned in all my videos, you have that option to take it to a different mechanic if you wanted to. Some mechanics, like I had mentioned, compared to John Maxwell, a mechanic that was this guy's being a little loud. Let me just wait. So if you look at John Maxwell, he's a Harley technician that decided to start his own shop. So you can actually go ahead and find yourself a technician that probably worked at Harley-Davidson for 5-10 years, and they decided, I'm going to do my own thing. And then if you find yourself a good mechanic, you could even take it to them for your additional services. A lot of the times they'll charge a lot less than the dealer. Like I said, some service shops, they'll charge you about $90 an hour. Dealerships, they tend to charge you a whole lot more than that. Most of the times you're looking at about $140, depending in your area. So I mean, that's one thing that I would always recommend. Not as a service writer, I would want customers to spend their money at the dealership, but if you're looking to kind of save some money, then you could always take your bike and take it somewhere else, or take your vehicle and take it somewhere else. If they're recommending tires, they're recommending transmission flush, they're recommending something else, you could opt out. And when they give you the call, this is what we found, this is what we actually recommend, you could take your vehicle and then just take it to another service shop, and you could actually save yourself a couple $100. But that's up to you. Now sometimes the dealer maintenance plan, they might even offer you a discount on some of those additional services. You would have to read the fine print. But as far as the manufacturer maintenance plan, there is no discount on additional services. They only cover the basic maintenance, mainly just oil change and maybe one or two primary or transmission change. Some of the oil change on the transmission of the primary, maybe one. If you're lucky, you might even get two, but I'm pretty sure it's just one, because most of them, they end right before your second major service. Your second major service. When you have these maintenance plans, you're not tied or you're not married to the dealership. You could, if you wanted to, and it would be recommended for you to kind of shop around, see what everybody else is charging. Maybe go on the Facebook group, or maybe go on a local group. Maybe they have a recommended technician. A lot of the times these technicians, they work at dealerships for many years, and a lot of the times there's only one shop foreman, maybe there's two shop foremans, maybe there's only one master technician title that they allow. So they cap out at depending on the state, depending on the area, sometimes they cap out at $34 an hour, and the only way for them to kind of earn a little bit more, they would have to go up to shop foreman. And sometimes, like my repair shops, we had the shop foremans, and they weren't going to retire anytime soon, so a lot of the mechanics that have been there for 7 years, 10 years, they're capped out. A lot of them just kind of decide, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing, or they could go to a different dealership, a different repair shop, and they could actually apply and get become a shop foreman at a different repair shop or a different dealership. So if you guys just out there providing you guys some information, a little bit of tips, if you guys wanted to save some money, you could do that. A lot of the times it's just a lot easier to kind of, they have the vehicle on the lift, or they already have the vehicle, or they have the bike already at the shop. You don't have to move it anywhere else. But a lot of these service shops, a lot of these dealerships, they actually still kind of charge you. They go by the hour, and they go by the rate or by the job, and a lot of the times they charge you even though they have the vehicle on the lift, and even though they already have it kind of drained out or whatnot, and they offer you an additional service, they actually charge you as if it was just on the floor. So they have to charge you the full hour or 2 hours, even though it's already halfway done. You already paid for the maintenance. They're still going to charge you for the full hour, even though it's already halfway done and it's only an extra half an hour. They're still going to charge you. So that's pretty much it. You guys stay out there, stay safe. Leave your comments down below if you guys have any questions or any comments about maintenance plan or anything. I think I covered everything pretty good. If I forgot anything, I'll leave it in the description down below. You guys could always read that stuff. I always leave about a paragraph or two on my videos. You guys just stay out there, stay safe, stay vigilant. Watch out for these stupid drivers, and don't believe everything you read. Later.